Welcome to another Mighty Monday. I am here with my good friend Marty, who operates an awesome company called Brand Buddy. I've known him personally as a friend for several years and also as a business colleague. So, Marty, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely, man. So, first off, tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah, so I started my business in 2018. I had done a variety of different business experiments before then, and some of them required digital marketing agencies to be involved. And I noticed there were a couple of experiences where the communication was horrible or the results weren't there, and I just kind of thought to myself, I could probably do this better, and I'm already interested in this field.
Yeah.
So started up my own agency, and services that we offer are SEO, social media posts, social media ads, Google ads, even like email marketing, SMS marketing, here and there. Not really our forte as much anymore, but yeah, kind of whatever a business needs to succeed online from a marketing standpoint. So
that's awesome, man. And obviously, we've used you guys for a long time, specifically on the Facebook, Instagram posting, because as a business owner, I want to stay in my lane and just execute what we do, but we have to tell a story online in terms of making sure people know who we are and how we service customers. So you've helped us out like that for several years now. But help me or help them understand some misconceptions that customers have in regards to, well, marketing's too expensive, I don't need to do it, or how do I do it? How do you help that from just a customer overview standpoint?
yeah, so just from a for the expensive side of that question, there are agencies out there that'll charge like $1,800 a month for just really basic services, and for us, we wanted to make it accessible for small businesses, so we brought our pricing way down. Like usually for like social media posts or even social media ads in many cases, if we're very focused on a local area, that will be, you can get started with like $300 a month in management fees to us, and then $300 a month to ads. And that's just to get started. Of course you can scale from there. As far as misconceptions, I'd say this industry is a little bit like, it does have a little bit of a negative aspect to it, where people have negative experiences. And so you just kind of have to be able to ask the right questions of like, hey, how did you help one of your clients succeed? And like actually follow up with that client, as long as you're allowed to, and see what their experience was when working with that agency. So yeah, I'd say just checking in, doing your research, making sure it's not just a site that or an agency that just started up last month, making sure that they actually have good case studies, and then you can move forward and start testing things out, because ultimately it's marketing, and every brand is going to be perceived differently, so you just got to get out there and test things and not bankrupt yourself while doing it. So
well, I think that's one of the hard parts too, because I mean, it's not always an immediate return, right? So you could put $100, $1,000, $10,000 into this campaign, and if the messaging isn't right, it could just flop totally on its face. And sometimes you're blamed. Sometimes the consumer or the customer in this case should take the blame. But I mean, how do you help navigate those conversations with customers? Because maybe they're sitting with a big old bankroll ready to spend to blow up their marketing, but oftentimes it's a slow churn in terms of getting your name out. So how do you help walk customers through that?
Yeah, so I mean, typically I would just, even if it's a friend that's coming to me and asking like, hey, I have this business idea, how do you think I should approach it? I always say just start small, see how the market is reacting, and if you're getting some early traction, whether it be leads, new sales, new followers, if you're getting that early traction, then it's like, all right, there might be something here, this might have legs. But I always tell my clients, like, we can give this a try for a certain period of time. If it doesn't work, let's move on. Let's try a different service, or you can go and try an entirely different marketing approach that maybe doesn't even involve me. So I just like being honest with the clients. So.
Well, you very much are. You're transparent and honest. That's why I consider your friend as well.
Well, thank you.
So from a opportunity standpoint, what do you think are some of the biggest missed opportunities for local business that don't really have a good online presence? And you can start off with just a website, but it needs to be more than that, in my opinion, in today's environment.
Yeah, I think some of the missed opportunities when it comes to small businesses and their own marketing. A lot of small businesses have this idea, where they're like, oh, if I just post daily or like 3 times a day or 6 times a day, whatever that number is, they think that it will result in new followers and new business. And it's kind of just is it a fallacy of where it's like, if you build it, they will come.
Sure.
So in most scenarios, small businesses want to generate leads for their business or new business, new revenue, whatever. And I would say the most common mistake that I see is that people think that posts are going to do that, and ads are actually the things that do that, because they're optimizing towards a specific action. Whereas with posts, it's like people can engage and talk about it, but usually it's not as direct response, if you get what I'm saying. So.
I totally do. And that leads me to kind of another question in the same vein, because some of the conversations that I have, they're like, the more I post, the more business I'm going to get. And even that way, you're still kind of in a vacuum, in my opinion, because the end consumer or the community has to understand who you are.
Yes.
And we've taken a tact where I try to put myself out there, both in the community physically, so involved in different networking organizations, community events, just helping out as much as I can, so they can understand who Mighty Pine is. So how do you balance because when somebody comes to you for marketing, they come to the marketing company as help me here, right?
Yeah.
And you specialize on the digital side.
Yep.
So how do you help guide that conversation where, hey, not only here, but here, and just here's an effective marketing strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say I usually guide that conversation by saying, these are just a small slice of the pie that I specialize in and that I've seen the best bang for the buck, essentially, in the marketing world. Yeah. But I always tell clients, like, this is not the end-all be-all. If you're relying entirely on this single marketing initiative, you need to kind of check yourself and get out there and do more things like you're talking about, where it's in person or if it's event-related. They call that omni-channel. It's a fancy little buzzword for you.
Okay.
But it's where, the more that a person sees you and your brand, if they see you across platforms and consistently, 7 times, they're going to be more likely to work with you and trust you. So
that's awesome. And
that's roughly the approach that I take.
Well, that's an awesome approach, because you've probably seen other groups where it's like, put all your bucket of money over here with me, and I just don't necessarily think that's the best recipe for success, like me personally. So the whole idea of what you were saying of putting all your eggs in one basket, it's like, pass.
Yeah, totally.
Pass on that one, right?
Totally.
So marketing encompasses such a broad spectrum of things, right? How do you balance being transparent with what your services are, how you execute those, but still retaining kind of your unique freedom and like kind of your the sauce that you use?
Yeah, the secret sauce. How do I protect it? Yeah. So how do I be transparent about like my marketing approach and educate customers and clients, but also still protect what I do? And the answer is, I actually like to be fully transparent. If a client is curious about what we're doing and why, depending on how much time they have, I'm more than happy to provide as much education as I can. Awesome. Just because it's like, you can go out there and do this too. But since I've done it so many repetitive times, I generally have a leg up just from the experience side. So, but I'm always happy to share the trade secrets, I guess, if you would call it that. So
that's great, because not everybody operates that way.
Yeah.
And I do think, though, that does create the best and strongest relationships when people just know. You don't have to show me exactly how the cards are played, but how are we doing what we're doing?
Yes.
It allows me to understand better and trust you more to be able to honestly invest more if the strategy's working, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we're on the same page, then it's like sometimes that synergy just boils up into something wonderful. So
yeah, right, totally. You're a business owner. I'm a business owner. There's so much freedom in that, right? There's also an untold amount of stress, right? So how do you balance that? How do you communicate with clients where something happens at Saturday afternoon,
Yep.
and they say, Marty, help me now.
Yep.
Where do you have boundaries? I mean, just walk me through kind of your process with that.
Yeah. So when I first started, it was just constant, like all the time, because I was waking up in the morning, working on Brand Buddy, going to work, working as a digital marketing director, coming back home and working on Brand Buddy.
Yeah.
So it was like constantly on, and that's quite the anxiety-stricken place to be.
Oh yeah.
But as the business aged, I was like, business hours would be sweet. So started implementing those, and I let my clients know. I was like, hey, here's my business hours. This is when you should reach out.
Yeah.
If it's an absolute emergency on the weekend, text or call this number. But surprisingly, I shouldn't say surprisingly, just because my clients are super dope in my opinion.
That's great. Yeah.
They don't really ever reach out on the weekends, and they don't try to, like, I guess, steal a ton of time, I guess, is the best way to put it.
I wish I could say the same. In a demand-based business where your water heater is going to go out and whenever it wants to go out, your furnace is going to go down. Yeah, we got to be available. So I'm a little jealous there.
Nobody looks at their phone and says, "Oh, Mighty Pine's closed."
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, we got to be open.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That's a big difference between our industries. But I'd say generally speaking, as clients got used to those business hours, things just really smoothed out, and there haven't been really any emergencies that I can think of in like years.
That's
so
amazing.
It's pretty nice.
That's probably kudos to you in terms of you operating your business well, honestly.
Well, thanks.
So,
Yeah. I appreciate it.
You have your processes in place, and that'll help curb some of that too.
Definitely.
Along that same line, are there any tips, tricks, advice you'd give to anybody else starting out? Like things that you really bumped your head when you were coming up?
Yeah, I would say absolute biggest thing is I think, and I've seen friends go down this path before too, where they have an idea and they want to go after it. And I've even had this conversation with other, startup digital marketing agencies. And they're like, oh, I'm going to go all in on this. I'm going to quit my job next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do not do that. You need to have a smooth transition first. It's like, I get it, you're excited and you think it's the best idea in the world, but like, let's be financially smart about this and not, cause yourself to run into the ground.
Sure.
So that'll be the biggest thing, is just not getting too enthusiastic to the point that you cripple yourself.
Yeah.
But also just be willing to try new things out. Be willing to fail. Even if something fails drastically, you're going to learn something. And you can try again in the next venture, whatever that might be.
That's it. That's fantastic advice. Failure is just you're learning, right? So just pick yourself up and go again. By thinking of new things, AI is a buzzword that everybody's talking about right now. Like, it's incredible. We went to we're part of this coaching group where I get trained once in the spring, once in the fall. And the amount of AI-based technology that's coming on the HVAC field, right? Which is kind of crazy to think about because this is it's not tech, it's we're out there so wrenching with tools, right? So I can imagine just how prevalent it is in your world on a day-to-day basis. So what are you seeing, and how are people utilizing it well, and what are things that maybe make you a little nervous? So
totally. So as a whole, when AI first came out, I was like, well, there goes my job. But as I started to investigate it more, I'm like, no, this is just a new tool. It's a new way to make things, some processes more profitable if done correctly. But the quality can definitely suffer if you're not careful.
It's not a set and forget it.
Definitely. As much as people want it to be that at this point, it's not quite there yet. But the ways that I've used it in my business is for SEO. So like blog writing.
Sure.
A lot of people for some reason think that blog articles get penalized if they're written by AI for SEO. And we have not seen that whatsoever. It's helped out a lot. And it's cut down on my time too. So I'd say that's the biggest one at the moment. But it also does help out with like social media posts or social media ads. You can feed certain platforms just like a URL
Yeah.
of, say, the product or the service you're wanting to promote. You can say, hey, make a social media post about this.
Cool.
And it does well for writing the copy. You just have to make sure it's not wrapping in like fake testimonials or anything like that, which it loves to do.
Oh boy, that's so scary.
Yeah, like that's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Sure is.
Yeah, I mean, those are the primary ways that I've used it. Is mostly just for copywriting.
Yeah.
And, not burn out from a creative standpoint.
Yeah, that makes total sense, and like I love the idea of it. A lot of people think it's going to take people's jobs and those type of things. And don't get me wrong, it definitely will in certain aspects and certain things. But what I want to use this for is ways to reduce some of the mundane tasks, other things in our business that honestly are just a chore to do. And we've already found ways to do that and allow people to stay in their creative bent where they're most in their unique ability to thrive, right?
Yes.
Do you have any suggestions for somebody who wants to do some of their stuff in-house from a marketing standpoint, what they could do, just in terms of basic things to help utilize that more?
Totally. I mean, just using like any of your larger language AI models out there, like ChatGPT, and for those services that I mentioned, if it's SEO, writing of any kind, should be able to help out. Just there's a little bit of a manual review there.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that again. I think that would be the main way. There are more ways emerging to like connect different apps and automate certain things.
Yeah.
I'm still investigating how to do that on my business to get like a quality result.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully next time I'm on here I'll be able to have an answer on that. But
look forward to that.
Yeah, I mean I'd say another good tool to use is Zapier or Zapier.
Yeah.
That's a very good one, but there are so many tools coming out on the social media advertising and like website design, and it's just their own AI.
Yeah.
And you can take advantage of that too, and just streamlines the process there even more. So
there you go.
It's kind of tough to escape it, honestly.
No, it is, and you can either kind of stick your head in the ground and ignore it coming, or be prepared and utilize it as a tool.
Yep.
So I mean, it allows us to get more messages out about us in a faster way and quicker way, which I like. You know. And so I'm excited about it, like I said. So I can't wait for those tools to come to learn more about it from you.
Totally.
So if there's a business owner who's tentative about making an investment in digital marketing or going down this path, how would you encourage them to make that step?
Yeah, pretty simple. It's it's a problem and a potential solution. Problem is, I want more business. I want more revenue. How do I do that? Solution is marketing of some kind. Yeah. So it's like you got to start somewhere. You got to start diversifying your lead sources, especially if you want to scale the business. Yeah. You got to figure out a way to get a predictable cost per acquisition and understand the customer's lifetime value and kind of build it from there. So I kind of look at it just from a very logical, almost math problem in a way.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world because for our business, most often not in customers' homes every single year. We love those customers where we can have that relationships and do those tune-ups. But I mean, if I'm here today and then not in that customer's home again for another 6 or 7 years, how are they even going to remember my name, right?
Totally.
And it's a slow email drip. It's seeing us on Facebook. It's those type of things, which will hopefully keep us a little bit more top of mind for when they do need something. We're there for them, right?
Yep. Yeah. That actually just happened with me in a cybersecurity company.
Oh wow! Okay.
I have no idea who my cybersecurity company is because they don't do any kind of marketing. So I'm like, don't know.
There we go. Reason to market right there in itself.
Yes.
Awesome. Any closing thoughts at all?
I don't think so. Just biggest thing is keep experimenting with marketing. Cool. Keep trying new things. Don't be afraid of new tools. Yeah. Keep evolving. Excellent, man. Well, Marty, thank you for coming. Thank you for chatting, and thank you for just talking a little bit today about different tools that people can use to be successful. We appreciate everything you've done here for us and continue to do because you're a valuable asset, and it's just part of Mighty Pine. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you again on another Mighty Monday. Bye, guys.